the Java trainer here. Okay. So can I know your background, educational backgrounds?
Yes, sir. I'm Radhika.
Yes, please sit down.
I'm Radhika, sir. I completed my graduation from Acharya Nagarjuna University in 2022.
20?
20.
Which branch are you from?
BSc Computers.
Computer. So you have knowledge of computer science also, right? Really?
Yes.
Some exposure to programming languages also.
Yes, sir.
You know Java?
Yeah.
Oh, you already know Java.
Basics.
Okay. What about you?
I'm Bharati. I did my graduation MBA in 2020.
Okay. So you have any background of softwares
No.
and exposure to programming? No,
I
right?
don't.
So let's I will be giving you a brief introduction about Java. What are the things that we are going to learn, and what exactly is Java, and why do we learn Java? So what is the need to learn Java? So those are the things that we'll try to understand. Okay. So do you know what exactly is a software, right? Software. Can you define software? What is a software?
So only a set of programs.
Exactly. Software is nothing but set of instructions, we can say. Some instructions given to a computer so that the computer can understand those instructions and it will execute those instructions. Okay. So generally computer is nothing but it is a hardware device, right? It's physical parts. So it's a combination of some physical parts. So these physical hardware devices cannot work together on its own. So they will not work on its own. So it needs something to drive them. Okay. So software is something which makes this hardware run actually. Okay. So with the help of the software only our computer is actually running. So inside our laptop there will be a software which runs our laptop. Inside your mobile device there will be a software, okay, which runs your mobile device. So like that all the most of the electronic digital devices they work with the help of a software. So again, software, we know that software is set of instructions given to the hardware so that the hardware will this software will make the hardware run actually. So the software is actually the thing which is driving the hardware. Okay. So again, software is divided into two types. Software is again can be categorized into two types. Software, one is application software and another one is system software. Okay. Application software is nothing but okay, before talking about application software, let us talk about system software. So application system software is nothing but the software which is residing on the hardware devices. Example of a system software is your operating system, OS. Okay, we all know what is an operating system, right? You know Windows operating system, Linux, Unix, Solaris, Android. So all these are different operating systems. So these operating systems are this. It is a software. Operating system is also a software which runs on our computer. So it actually drives the computer. So without this operating system, you do not have any computer. So every computer will be having an operating system. Even your mobile phone. So mobile phone will be having different operating systems like iOS, and for Apple devices it is iOS. For Android is another operating system. Okay, Android and iOS are mobile operating systems. These are our operating systems which run our computers, Windows, Linux, Solaris. So these softwares, all these softwares, these comes under system software. System software. So not only these things, the softwares which run which runs your computers, like the software will be embedded on your chips. Your mobile devices and our laptop devices will be having some processors and chips, right? So some software will be embedded on those chips so that those chips will run. So to make those chips and our processors run, we will be embedding some kind of software. So that software will also be called as, this also comes under system software. So these are some kind of examples of a system software. Now coming to application software. Application software. So the application software, as the name indicates, application software is nothing but the software which is used to run an application. So example of an application, some examples of an applications are e-commerce applications, banking applications. So these are some of the applications, e-commerce applications and banking applications. Every day we usually interact with these banking applications, right? To log into bank, to check our account balance, to transfer funds to someone. So we'll be using this banking software. And e-commerce software is something like there are many e-commerce platforms. You might be knowing, right? Amazon, Flipkart, all these are e-commerce platforms. So these are a kind of applications which we call as application softwares, because we are running an application. This is a system software which is used to run a system. This is an application. This is called an application software because it is used to run applications. So these are the some examples of applications. Some examples of e-commerce applications are Amazon, Flipkart. So those are some of the banking, SBI.com, Axis Bank, like that. So these are some of the examples. So not only these applications, there are many other applications like everyday applications like Gmail, WhatsApp, Paytm, Google Pay. So all these are applications. So all these are called applications which run with the help of application software. So now coming to our Java. So what is the role that Java is playing here? So we have seen what is a system software and what is an application software. So Java is a programming language. Java is one of the very popular programming language. So it is started way back in 1995 actually. So some 25 years back, some 25 to 30 years back it has started, Java. But if it is still considered to be a very popular language. So even if you search on internet, in Google, what are the 5 popular software languages, you will find Java as one of the top 5 software language even today. So even after its inception 30 years ago, even today it is one of the very popular language. So let us try to discuss a little bit about Java. Why it has become such a popular language? Even after 35 years, even after 30 years, it is still going strong. What is the reason for that? So Java, one of the main features of Java is it can be used to develop any kind of application. So Java can be used to develop mobile application. So there are different types of applications again. Applications can be categorized into web application, mobile application, and standalone application. So web application, as we have discussed earlier, web application. So some of the examples of web application are gmail.com, amazon.com. So these are some of the web applications. The meaning of web application is that web applications run on a web browser, for example. Okay, Chrome, Internet Explorer, it won't want to know web browsers. With the help of web browsers, these applications will be run. Mobile applications, any example of mobile application? Some example? Applications which run on your mobile. On a mobile we install, right, softwares. So we install some software on the mobile. So what are some applications? For example, WhatsApp. Every day we will be using WhatsApp. Any other example? Like Paytm. Paytm is another example. Like this, there are many applications, mobile applications. Standalone applications. Examples of standalone applications are, so in your computer you will be using sometimes to calculate something. You open calculator and do some calculations, right? So that is one. Calculator is a Windows application. So it is a standalone application. Why we call it a standalone application? Because it resides only on your computer. Okay, it is installed on your computer and it will be only on your computer. That's why it is called a standalone standalone software. Whereas web application is not like that. It can be accessed from anywhere. The same application, Amazon, can be accessed from this computer, can be accessed from another computer, from mobile, any other device you can access. So that's the difference between calculator. So word processing software like Microsoft Office, which you install on your computer. So those softwares will be residing only on your computers. So such kind of applications are called standalone. Another example is MS Office, like this. So these are all applications. So to develop these applications, to develop these web application, mobile application, and standalone applications, we can use Java language. So Java can be used to develop any kind of application actually. It can be used to develop web application, mobile application, and standalone application also. So why? So that is one of the reason for Java to become so popular, such a popular language and such a widely used language in almost all the top companies around the world, like for example Infosys, Microsoft, TCS. In every company you see there will be one Java application will be there, Java project will be there. Okay, people will be working in a Java project. It is there in every company actually. So that is the reason why people choose to learn Java. Because that is the popularity of Java. It is being used to develop any kind of application. Many of the projects, mostly in almost all the companies, there will be Java based projects running in their companies. So that is about Java. That is the reason it has become so popular. So some other features about Java is that it is a platform independent language. Java is a platform independent language. You know what is meant by platform independency? You are a computer student, right? Can you tell what's platform independent language? Platform independency is nothing but, for example, if you have developed a program on if you have developed an application on Windows operating system, Windows is one platform. Okay, the same application, if you take it to another operating system like Linux operating system, it can even work there also. So, okay, the same Java application which is developed on a Windows application can also work on any other platform. So that is the meaning of platform independency. So unlike other languages like Microsoft based languages like C, C++ are some of the languages which are considered to be platform dependent languages, because once they develop the application on Windows, for example, they cannot directly make it work on another operating system. It is not an easy thing to make them work on other operating system. So Java is a platform independent language. So that is one of the major feature of Java. There are many other features. Let us discuss only few features for now. Okay. So it is also considered to be a secure language. Secure, robust, and object-oriented programming language. So Java is a secure language. So Java is why it is considered to be a secure language. So once you develop an application for example, if you develop application for a bank, SBI, take for example SBI or Axis Bank. So those kind of application they need to be very secure, right? So because we are dealing with the monetary transactions, money transactions. So that is the reason it is considered to. So for such applications, to develop such applications, people usually choose Java programming language as a backend programming language, because Java is a very secure language, and it is also considered to be a robust language. The meaning of the robust is that it is a very strong language. So if you want it to be more detailed, inside Java there is something called memory management. Okay, so once you may not understand it now, but I will just give you an overview about what is meant by robustness of an application. So memory management is very robust in Java applications. That means once you to develop a program, we need some memory actually. Memory is required to develop a program. So to write some classes, to store some data in the variables, you need some memory. So that memory is there in that memory management is done very effectively by Java. That means every time when some memory is being used, after the completion of the usage, after execution of the program, the memory has to be released. Actually, the memory has to be freed up because another resources can take that memory. Another resource can come and use that memory actually. So that memory management is automatically done by Java. It has a very powerful mechanism to manage the memory also. And Java is also considered to be object-oriented programming language. So there are different programming styles actually. So object-oriented programming is one of the programming style. Okay, we have different styles called different. We call them paradigms, programming paradigms. So functional oriented programming language, function oriented, function based, and object based. So we have languages like, for example, COBOL. COBOL is called a procedure oriented language. Procedure oriented programming language. So COBOL is a procedure, it depends on procedures, something called procedures. But Java is based on the object oriented programming style. So completely everything in Java is done with objects. Okay, what is meant by object and what is a class again? We can discuss about that also. We just try to know that Java is an object-oriented programming language. Now let's see a little bit about what is an object-oriented programming language. So let's try to discuss about this one because Java is an object-oriented programming language. So what exactly is an object-oriented programming language? So object. There are two things, very important terms in Java language called object and a class. A class and an object. Class and an object. So what is a class and what is an object? So coming to, let's discuss about what is an object actually. So in Java, object is nothing but anything can be an object actually. So any physical entity like for example your pen, your book, laptop, table, everything is an object. So in programming, Java programming, we take everything as an object. Okay. So what is a class? Class is nothing but a template or a blueprint, we can call it, of an object. So what exactly is a template and what is a blueprint? For example, if you take the example of a house building plan, right? You come across this term blueprint. So when someone is constructing a house, they take this blueprint and looking at the blueprint, they can construct a house. So blueprint is nothing but a template which gives the details about how a house needs to be constructed. What is the structure of a house? Everything will be there in a blueprint. So class is something like a blueprint actually. So it can also be called as a template. Blueprint of what? Blueprint of an object. Okay, for example, I will give you a real-time example. So we can take an employee. Employee is a class. Okay, let us say that employee is a class. So here we can create an object. So what are the things that an employee can have? What are the attributes of an employee? Employee can have a name, age, ID, yes, ID, and designation also. There can be many other things like salary, something like that. So these are some of the attributes of the employee. So employee is a class which is having some attributes. So just imagine that employee is a class now. This is a class. So this class is having all the blueprint what an employee should actually have. Employee ki em undalo avanni kuda it will be there in this class. Employee undalsina lakshanalu, employee name, age, ID, designation and salary. So these are some of the attributes of employee. So now coming to object, what did we say? How did we define an object? And the definition of an object is object is nothing but an instance of a class. Object is nothing but an instance of a class. So taking this example of an employee. So how do we create an instance of a class? Means, for example, this is just a structure. Employee, some attributes, name, age, ID, and structure. Now coming to object, it represents a real employee. For example, employee, the name of the employee. I will create an object in Java like this. Employee, emp equal to new of employee. Now I have created an object. This object will be having all the real properties. For example, emp dot name is equal to Ram. So here we only have the structure. Here we are having an actual employee. This is an actual employee. This is just a structure of the employee, right? This is just a template or a blueprint we call. That's the reason we called it a template or a blueprint. Here in this object it will be having the real properties like emp dot name. This name Ram is the name of this object, and emp dot age is equal to some 30. ID equal to 100. Like this, there will be many properties for this object. So all these properties, so this employee is representing this class actually, right? So this is the example of a class and an object. Class is nothing but a template or a blueprint, whereas object is nothing but an instance of a class. Instance means it will be having the real world properties, the real values we can say. Okay, so that is about a class and object. So the complete Java is totally classes and objects. Okay, you will be working with classes and objects. So we can discuss in detail when we talk about classes and objects chapter. And there are some of the features of object-oriented programming language. Some of the important features I just want to give you. Inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism. Okay, these are some of the features. We can say that for every object-oriented programming language, these are the 4 pillars. They will also call it as 4 pillars. Okay, this is generally an interview question. What are the 4 pillars of object-oriented programming language? Very popular question actually. So inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction, and polymorphism. So we can discuss in detail about all these features. Programmatical also we need to understand this. Very important topics. So inheritance is nothing but parent and child relationship. Parent and child relationship. So the child will be inheriting, just like in the real world, a child, for example, we as a child will be inheriting our father's property, right? Parents' properties. In the same way, there will be a parent class and a child class. This child class will be inheriting all the properties of parent class, just like in the real world. So this is example of an inheritance. Encapsulation, data plus encapsulation is just like, for example, take the example of a tablet, okay, capsule, for example, how the medicine will be covered with the plastic case, right? Inside that plastic case there will be medicine. So that is the example of encapsulation actually. So the data and the methods will be binded together. So you can understand in detail, I will explain you. So that is the concept actually. That means data is kept secured with the help of encapsulation concept in Java. So this is inheritance, this is encapsulation. Abstraction means hiding some of the irrelevant details and showing only the relevant details. Okay, that is the definition of abstraction here. Polymorphism means existing in multi forms. Poly means multi, morphism means multiple forms. In Java, there will be methods actually. We will be discussing about methods. A method can exist in multiple forms. Okay, there are different types of polymorphism also, overriding, overloading. All these things we will be discussing in detail. So these are some of the features of Java. Just an overview of Java programming language. If you have any doubts also, you can stop and ask me. Now, we have already discussed that Java is invented in way back in 1995 and it is still a very popular language. It is currently owned by, it was actually created by a company called Sun Microsystems. Okay, but now it is not under Sun Microsystems, it is taken over by Oracle Corporation. So now currently Oracle is running Java, Oracle is owning Java. So if you want to know more about Java, that means currently nearly 5 billion devices, hardware devices like operating like your phones, okay, other devices, electronic devices, Java is being installed on nearly 5 billion devices around the world. 5 billion devices. So Java can be used for various purposes like we have discussed to create a mobile application, okay, to create gaming applications also we can use Java. So web applications servers, gaming and databases. So all these softwares can be developed with the help of Java. Okay, if you know Java, then you can use it for many purposes actually to develop many type of applications you can use. So as we have discussed earlier also, so most of the companies, big companies, MNCs, so all these companies will definitely have a Java project with them. So that is the reason that there is a huge demand for Java programmers. Okay, people are learning Java because of this main reason actually, because many companies are working with Java applications. They have their projects with Java. Java projects are there in many companies like Accenture, Microsoft, Infosys, Wipro. All these companies will definitely have a Java project. Majority of their applications will be Java applications. So that is the reason for you. You can choose. You have chosen a very good programming language. So Java is a programming language is used by reputed companies like TCS, Infosys, IBM. Okay. So these are some of the major giant companies which are currently using Java. So that is the reason Java training is very important for an individual actually. So to learn a Java, it's a very high demand skill actually. So you will be, when you learn a Java and if you become a good programmer, you will be definitely having a very high demand actually. Generally, the salaries for the freshers, if you are fresher, it will be ranging around 2 to 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs. After that, once you gain some experience, your salary will be actually it will be double or triple like that. So based on your experience, your salary will be increasing in multiple folds actually. So there are many career options once you learn Java. So you can become a web application developer. Web application developer means you can develop just like I showed you we discussed about some examples, right? Amazon, Flipkart. So those are some web applications, and you can become a web application developer. You can become a backend developer. That means for every application there will be a backend. For example, if you are seeing this Amazon page, okay, when you open Amazon.com, you will be seeing one page. So in the background there will be multiple programs actually to make this program work, to make this page work. When you click on submit, what is happening? So all this will be handled by backend programs. There will be programs at the backend which will be handling all this flow, application flow actually. So you can also become a backend developer also. You can be a developer who develops the backend programs also. So not only this, you can also become a standalone application developer, mobile application developer, game developer, and a graphics developer also. So knowing Java, once you learn Java, there are actually wide range of opportunities for you. Okay, you can choose many career paths. So you can become either a mobile developer, or web application developer, standalone application developer, gaming developer. So not that you will be directly using Java, but you will be using Java on top of other frameworks. For example, to develop a web application, you need a framework called, for example, Spring Framework. Spring Framework or a Spring Boot Framework. So to work with these frameworks, you cannot directly go and work with these kind of frameworks. So to work with these frameworks, it is a prerequisite to know Java. So Java programming language is the first and foremost thing that you need to learn before moving on to Spring Framework or any other framework actually. So actually Java is like a prerequisite before moving on to any other framework, because all these frameworks are built on top of Java programming language only. So that is the reason for you to learn Java programming. I think I am done. If you have any questions, you can ask. That's just a brief overview about Java programming language. What is Java? Why it is such a popular language, and what are the different opportunities for you when you learn Java? Okay. So you have chosen to learn Java and testing here.
Testing.
Only testing, Java with both, right? Combination. So if you learn Java along with testing, that will be good for you actually, because there you will be having a lot of opportunities open for you. You can either get a testing opportunity or you can choose Java also. Okay, because there are many openings for testing and Java. So if you learn both, that is a good advantage for you. Okay. So you can ask me any questions if you want.
Yes.
That's it.